The salt air hit Benjamin like a slap, carrying the faint rot of seaweed and regret from the beach below. He gripped the rental car's door handle until his knuckles whitened, staring at the sprawling Victorian house perched on the cliffs of Big Sur, California, its wraparound porch mocking him with strings of fairy lights that Dad had probably hung last Christmas, pretending the family was whole. "You're really doing this?" Logan's voice was a low rumble from the passenger seat, his hand warm on Benjamin's thigh, but even that couldn't chase the chill snaking up his spine. Years of silence shattered by a single email. "Son, the family's heading to the coast. Room for you if you want it. Love, Dad. Love." The word burned like cheap whiskey, after all the slurs and slammed doors that had driven Benjamin out at 18, screaming that he wasn't his son anymore, not with that filthy lifestyle. Benjamin killed the engine, the sudden quiet amplifying the crash of waves 200 feet below. He could still hear Dad's voice from that final fight, gravelly with bourbon. "You're killing your mother with this shame." Mom had died 2 years later, cancer eating her from the inside while Dad buried himself in work, never once calling to say sorry. Now, here they were, a decade later, on the eve of what Dad called a fresh start. Benjamin's fresh start had been Logan. Steady, ink-stained hands from his tattoo shop in San Francisco, eyes like smoked quartz that saw through Benjamin's walls without prying them down. "You don't have to go in," Logan said, unbuckling his seatbelt with a soft click. He was 32 to Benjamin's 28, broader in the shoulders from years of hauling ink guns and sketching late into the night, but his presence was an anchor, not a chain. They'd met 2 years ago at a queer art crawl in the Mission District, Benjamin nursing a gin and tonic while Logan inked a stranger's forearm with a phoenix rising from barbed wire. One shared glance over the buzz of the needle, and Benjamin had felt seen, not as the broken kid from Ohio, but as whole. Benjamin forced a smile, the kind that didn't reach his eyes. "And missed the chance to see if hell really has frozen over?" "Nah." He leaned over, kissing Logan quick and fierce, tasting salt from the drive down Highway 1. "Stay close. Okay. This could go south faster than a bad tattoo." They grabbed their duffels from the trunk. Benjamin's packed light with board shorts and a dog-eared copy of Giovanni's Room. Logan's bulging with sketch pads and that ridiculous Hawaiian shirt his sister had sent as a joke. The gravel crunched underfoot as they climbed the path to the house, wild mustard blooming yellow along the edges like forgotten apologies. Seagulls wheeled overhead, their cries sharp as accusations. The screen door banged open before they reached the porch. There stood Dad Grayson Hale, 61 and still built like the high school football coach he'd been, silver threading his temples but his jaw set in that unyielding line Benjamin remembered from childhood arguments over curfews and report cards. Ben. The name hung there, clipped, like Dad was testing it on his tongue. No hug, no handshake, just a nod that might have been for Logan, too. "Glad you made it." "Traffic bad." "Peachy," Benjamin replied, voice steadier than he felt. Close. Dad looked older, lines etched deeper around his mouth, a shadowed like he'd been staring at ghosts. "This is Logan. My partner." Dad's gaze flicked to Logan, appraising. Boots scuffed from city streets, the subtle rainbow pin on his collar glinting in the sun. A beat too long. Then, "Welcome. Come on in." Everyone's out back. Inside, the house smelled of pine cleaner and simmering chili, a scent that yanked Benjamin back to Thanksgivings before everything cracked. Photos lined the mantel. Him at 10, gap-toothed grin on a fishing trip. His sister Ellie at her wedding last year, radiant in lace. Dad with his arm around Uncle Ray, both laughing at some long-lost barbecue. No trace of Benjamin after 16, like he'd been airbrushed out. Voices drifted from the deck. Ellie's laugh, high and bubbly, mingling with her husband Tom's low chuckle and the shrieks of their twins, Mia and Jax, chasing each other around a kiddie pool. Aunt Clara was there too, fanning herself with a magazine, her peroxide curls unmoving in the breeze. The family vacation. 5 days at this rented cliffside haven, kayaking coves and grilling steaks. Dad's grand gesture to mend fences, now that retirement loomed and regrets apparently did too. Ellie spotted him first, bolting up from her lounge chair in a sarong that fluttered like a flag of truce. "Benny!" She crushed him in a hug, all jasmine perfume and sisterly warmth, the kind that had kept him sane through college calls where she'd whisper, "He's trying, just in his way. You look good. City life's treating you right. Surviving," he said, hugging back, careful not to crush the beer in her hand. Tom clapped his shoulder next, easy grin in place. "Heard you snagged that promotion at the gallery. Killer." And the twins barreled into his legs, demanding piggyback rides. Logan hung back a step, letting the chaos swirl, but Benjamin caught his eye. A silent "You good?" Introductions rippled out, Aunt Clara cooing over Logan's artistic hands, Uncle Ray grilling him on the 49ers season like tattoos were just face paint. Dad hovered at the grill, flipping burgers with tongs that clicked like a metronome of tension. "Beer's in the cooler," he grunted, not looking up. Dinner unfolded under a canopy of stars pricking the indigo sky, the ocean a constant roar below. Plates piled with ribs and corn on the cob, laughter ebbing around Benjamin like tide pools. Logan fit in seamlessly, charming the twins with doodles on napkins, dragons breathing ice cream cones, while Ellie peppered him with questions about San Francisco's queer scene. "You two met at a tattoo parlor? Romantic," she teased, winking. Benjamin picked at his food, the meat tough in his mouth. Every glance at Dad felt like probing a bruise. Finally, as plates cleared and the kids dozed in hammocks, Dad cleared his throat. "Ben, walk with me." The others pretended not to notice, chatter spiking unnaturally. Logan squeezed Benjamin's knee under the table. "Go. I'll be here." And Benjamin followed Dad down the cliff path, flashlight beams bobbing like fireflies. They stopped at a bench overlooking the surf, foam glowing phosphorescent in the moon's skim. Dad sat heavy, hands clasped between his knees. "I owe you an apology," he started, voice rough as the bark on the redwoods nearby. "For everything. After your mom, I got lost. Angry at the world, took it out on you. What you are, it's not a choice. I get that now." Ellie's been talking sense into me. Benjamin's throat tightened, words he'd rehearsed for years evaporating. "You called me an abomination. That said I was going to hell. I was 18. Alone in a city that chewed up kids like me." Dad winced, rubbing his neck. "I was scared. Scared I'd lose you like I lost her. Church folks filled my head with poison. But seeing Ellie happy, the grandkids, it hit me. Family's what matters. Not labels." The admission hung, fragile as sea glass. Benjamin wanted to rage, to list the therapy bills and the nights he'd cried into Logan's chest. But exhaustion won. "Why now? Prostate scare last month. Docs say it's nothing, but life flashes. You know, regret's a bitch." Dad's laugh was bitter, then soft. I want you here. Both of you. For real. They sat in silence, waves pounding out a rhythm of maybe. When they returned, the fire pit crackled low, Logan feeding it driftwood while Ellie hummed a lullaby to the twins. For the first time in years, Benjamin breathed easy almost. That night, in the guest room with its quilted bed and window framing the sea, Logan pulled Benjamin close, skin warm against skin. Proud of you, he murmured, lips tracing the scar on Benjamin's collarbone from a bar fight in his wilder days. Their bodies moved slow, deliberate hands mapping familiar territories, breaths sinking like the tide. No rush, just the quiet affirmation of us against the world. Afterward, tangled in sheets, Logan whispered, "Think it's real? The change?" Benjamin stared at the ceiling fan's lazy spin. "Hope so. But hope's a dangerous drug." Morning broke with fog rolling in thick as unresolved sins, muffling the world's edges. Breakfast was pancakes stacked high, syrup sticky on fingers, the family orbiting like planets around Dad's sun. Plans coalesced, kayaks at 9, tide pools after lunch. Benjamin volunteered for the first shift with Ellie and the kids, needing space from Dad's earnest stares. The cove was a crescent of turquoise, seals barking from rocks like lazy critics. Mia splashed in shallows, her pigtails dripping, while Jax unearthed a crab that scuttled sideways in panic. Ellie linked arms with Benjamin, her head on his shoulder. "He's trying, Ben. Therapy, even. Group for parents of queer kids. It's weird, seeing him vulnerable." Benjamin nodded, paddling his kayak through kelp forests that swayed like underwater ghosts. "Doesn't erase the years. No. But it counts." She paused, eyes on a pod of dolphins arcing in the distance. "And Logan? He's solid. Makes you glow." Back on shore, drying off with sandy towels, Benjamin caught Logan sketching the scene, pencil strokes capturing Ellie's laugh lines, the twins' freckles. "Stealing souls," Benjamin teased, plucking the pad. Logan grinned, pulling him down for a salt-laced kiss. "Just immortalizing the good parts." But under the idol, fissures showed. At lunch, picnic blankets on the bluff, sandwiches wilting in the heat, Aunt Clara cornered Benjamin by the cooler. "Your father's come far," she said, voice syrupy with bridge club piety. "But pray for him, dear. The devil's work is sneaky." Benjamin's fork paused mid-air, salad forgotten. "Aunt Clara, I'm just saying," she pressed, eyes darting to Logan chatting with Tom. "Happiness is a choice. And choices have consequences." The words landed like pebbles in a still pond, ripples spreading. Benjamin excused himself, retreating to the house for a glass of water that tasted metallic. In the kitchen, he found Dad rifling drawers, face drawn. "Everything all right?" Dad startled, then sighed. "Just." Ray's asking questions. "About you too." "Old habits." Benjamin's pulse thrummed. "Handle it, Dad. Or this fresh start is bullshit." The afternoon tide pools teemed with anemones pulsing like tiny hearts, starfish clinging to rocks slick with algae. The group fanned out, Tom and Ray hauling buckets for the kids, Ellie snapping photos, Logan and Benjamin lingering at the edge, fingers brushing underwater. "She's a relic," Logan said of Aunt Clara, voice low as he pried a muscle free, his beard feathery. "Ignore." But ignoring was a luxury Benjamin couldn't afford. Not when every sidelong glance from Uncle Ray felt like judgment. Ray, Dad's brother, the one who'd nodded along during that final blowout, muttering family sticks together while meaning straight. As sun dipped, painting the pool's gold, Jax tugged Benjamin's shorts. Uncle Ben, catch a fish for me? They waded deeper, nets dipping into minnow schools that darted silver. Laughter bubbled up, genuine, until a shadow fell, Dad, wading in with a grin that faltered. Ben, got a sec. Logan shot him a look, careful, but Benjamin followed, water sloshing to their waists. What's up? Dad hesitated, glancing back at the group. Clara means well. She's traditional. But Ray, he's got ideas. About the vacation. Mentioned inviting his church buddy. Pastor Hale, no relation. Thank God, for a bonfire prayer circle tomorrow. Benjamin's stomach dropped, cold as the undertow. What? Just talk. Bonding. Dad's eyes pleaded. Humor him? For me, the ask was a knife twist progress, but on tiptoes around the bigots. Benjamin treaded water, tasting bile. Sure, Dad. For you. That night, the bonfire roared on the beach below, driftwood popping like gunfire. Marshmallows charred on sticks. Guitars strummed folk tunes Ellie favored. Logan sat cross-legged beside Benjamin, their shoulders touching, a silent front. Aunt Clara hummed hymns under her breath, while Uncle Ray nursed a beer, eyes glassy. Then the pastor arrived, mid-40s, pressed khakis and a cross necklace that caught the flames like a warning. Handshakes all around, then the circle, Ray starting with tales of redemption, Clara nodding fervent. Dad sat rigid, avoiding Benjamin's gaze. Faith heals divides. The pastor boomed when his turn came, voice carrying over the surf. Even the ones we make ourselves. I've seen men, good men, rise from the ashes of poor choices, embrace the light. Logan's hand found Benjamin's in the sand, squeezing. The implication hung, acrid as smoke. Ellie shifted uncomfortably, whispering to Tom, but no one spoke up. Not even Dad. Benjamin's chest burned, years of buried fury igniting. He stood abrupt, sand cascading from his jeans. Poor choices? Like loving who you love. His voice cracked the circle's hush. Or rejecting your own blood for it? All eyes turned, shock rippling like heat haze. The pastor blinked, mouth opening on platitudes. But Benjamin was already striding away, Logan's footsteps crunching behind. Ben. Wait. Dad's call faded into the waves. Up the path, tears hot on Benjamin's cheeks. Logan caught him against a boulder, arms enveloping. You didn't deserve that shitshow. Benjamin buried his face in Logan's neck, sobs muffled. Why can't it be simple? Just family. It will be, Logan vowed. Fierce. With or without them. But as stars wheeled overhead, Benjamin wondered if vows were enough against the pull of blood. Dawn the next day crept in gray and grudging, fog cloaking the cliffs like a shroud. Benjamin woke to Logan's arm draped heavy across his waist, breath steady against his back, a tether in the storm. The confrontation last night had splintered the group. Ellie texting apologies at midnight. Raise an ass. Dad shut him down after you left. Dad's silence louder than thunder. No knock on the door. No olive branch slipped under. They dressed in quiet. Benjamin in swim trunks and a rash guard that hid the tattoos Logan had inked over his scars. Symbols of rebirth. A lighthouse piercing clouds. Waves curling into infinity. Breakfast was a solo affair in the kitchen. Coffee brewing black as mood. Until Logan shuffled in. Hair sleep-tousled. Pressing a kiss to Benjamin's temple. Plan? Beach run. Then fuck the drama. Deal? Benjamin managed a half-smile. The first real one since the fire. Deal. The beach stretched mile upon mile of compacted sand. Pounded smooth by relentless Pacific. Dotted with surfers carving swells like they were scripting their own epics. They ran barefoot. Breaths sinking to the rhythm of footfalls. Logan's longer strides matching Benjamin's without effort. Sweat beaded, cooling in the mist, and for stretches, the world narrowed to this muscle burn, salt sting, the man beside him who chose him every damn day. Halfway, they collapsed onto driftwood logs, chests heaving. Logan pulled a thermos from his pack, iced coffee spiked with vanilla, Benjamin's vice. Spill, Logan said, passing it over. What's churning? Benjamin swigged, the cold biting sweet. Dad's apology felt real. Then that prayer circle? Like he hasn't changed. Just learned to hide it better. He traced patterns in the sand. Spirals leading nowhere. I want to believe him. For Ellie. The kids. But what if it's pity? Cancer widow's son. Gay and adrift, hallmark bait. Logan's eyes softened. No pity there. Just the unflinching honesty Benjamin craved. You're not adrift. You're the guy who curates exhibits that make straight dudes question their own closets. Who fought for that tiny house in No Valley. And me? I'm the lucky bastard who gets to wake up to your snoring. He leaned in, thumb brushing Benjamin's jaw. Dad's journey isn't yours to fix. Show up for you. The words settled like ballast. They ran back slower, detouring to a tide pool where otters frolicked, holding paws in the kelp, nature's unapologetic queers. Laughter bubbled up, loosening the knot in Benjamin's gut. Back at the house, the air hummed tense. Ellie intercepted them on the porch. Twins in tow, faces smeared with jam. Family meeting, she said, voice pitched low. Living room. Now. Dad called it. Inside, the group assembled like suspects in a lineup. Dad at the head of the plaid sofa, hands steepled. Ray slouched in an armchair, nursing coffee. Clara perched prim, clutching her Bible. Tom neutral on the floor with the kids building block towers. Logan slid onto the couch beside Benjamin. A united front. Dad cleared his throat, the sound scraping like sandpaper. Last night got out of hand. My fault. Should have nixed the pastor idea. His eyes met Benjamin's. I meant what I said about mending. But old voices die hard. Ray. Clara. You crossed a line. Ray shifted, mustache twitching. Just sharing faith. Gray. No harm. Plenty. Ellie snapped, rare steel in her tone. Ben's family. Logan's family. End of. Clara fluttered. I only. Enough. Dad's voice brooked no argument. Coach mode kicking in. This trip's about us. No sermons. No side eyes. Or you go home. Silence stretched, thick as the fog outside. Ray muttered something about free speech, but Clara nodded first, chastened. Ellie exhaled, ruffling Jax's hair. Good. Now, who's up for ziplining? Twins have been begging. The pivot was clumsy, but it worked. laughter cracking the ice as plans shifted to the redwoods inland. Benjamin caught Dad's eye across the room. A nod, small but loaded. Progress, inch by grudging inch. The zipline course threaded through ancient giants, trunks wider than sedans, moss draping like emerald veils. Harnesses creaked as they clipped in, helmets comically oversized on the kids. Benjamin went first with Mia giggling on his back, wind whipping as they soared over fern-choked ravines, the drop dizzying but exhilarating. Below, the forest floor was a cathedral of green, sunlight shafting through canopy like stained glass. Logan hooped from behind, his line slicing parallel, face alight with that boyish thrill that made Benjamin's heart stutter. On solid ground again, breathless and buzzing, Logan hauled him close by the harness straps. "That your idea of therapy?" he joked, forehead to forehead. "Better than couch sessions," Benjamin admitted, stealing a kiss that tasted of pine and promise. Lunch was a spread at a picnic grove, turkey clubs and fruit salad, ants marching in formation. Conversation flowed easier, skirting edges. Ellie's new job at the library, Tom's fantasy football woes, Ray's fishing yarns that stayed mercifully neutral. Dad even asked Logan about his shop. Ever ink anything biblical? The question landing awkward but curious. Not cutting. Afternoon brought rain, a sudden deluge that sent them scrambling to the van, laughing as water sheeted off roofs. Back home, board games emerged, Monopoly, of all things, the kids commandeering hotels on Boardwalk while adults bartered fake millions. Benjamin landed in jail early, Logan bailing him out with a smirk, always the hero. As evening fell, the storm cleared to a rainbow arching over the ocean, vivid as a sign. Dinner was takeout Thai from a roadside spot, pad CEW steaming, spring rolls crisp, eaten cross-legged on the living room rug. Stories spilled. Benjamin recounting his first gallery opening, nerves jangling like keys. Logan demoing a tattoo guns hum on a banana, the twins mesmerized. Even Dad shared, a rare glimpse of courting Mom at a county fair, Ferris wheel creaking under their weight. Bedtime for the kids meant stories in the bunk room, Benjamin volunteering with Where the Wild Things Are, voices wild and roaring until yawns won. Tucking them in, Mia's small hand in his. "Uncle Ben, you're my favorite gay." The words, innocent, pierced, love without qualifiers. Alone on the deck later, stars punching through clouds, Benjamin found Dad nursing a scotch, rocking chair creaking. "Hey!" Dad gestured to the empty seat. "Couldn't sleep. Thinking. About. Missed so much." Dad's voice cracked, glass glinting. "Your mom's birthday would have been last week. She'd have loved Logan, called him that charming scoundrel." Benjamin sat, the chair's sway sinking with the sea's lull. "She wrote me letters. After you kicked me out. Said you loved me, even if you were too stubborn to show it." Dad's shoulders slumped. "I failed her." "Failed you." A pause. Then, "Tell me about him." "Logan. How'd he steal your heart?" The ask was tentative, a bridge of matchsticks. Benjamin leaned on the rail, words tumbling. The art crawl, the phoenix tattoo that mirrored his own rising. Nights debating Kerouac over takeout. Dad listened, really listened, no interruptions, just nods and the occasional sounds solid. When Logan joined them, towel drying his hair from a shower, Dad raised his glass. To second chances. They clinked scotch to water bottle and for a heartbeat, felt possible. but possibilities have shadows. That night, as Benjamin and Logan tangled in bed, urgent and affirming, a text buzzed on the nightstand. Ellie overheard Ray on phone, talking to someone about fixing Ben. Heads up. Sleep fled, replaced by a gnawing dread. Betrayal seemed, wore familiar faces. Morning broke clear, the rainbow's promise mocking. Kayaking again, but tension threaded the air like undertow. Benjamin paddled solo this time, blade dipping rhythmic, putting distance. Logan stuck close in his own boat, silent sentinel. Shore lunch was subdued, sandwiches again, waves lapping insistent. Ray avoided eyes, Clara chattered weather, but Ellie shot Benjamin worried glances. Dad clapped hands. Hike after? Pfeiffer Falls. The trail wound lush. Ferns brushing calves. Mist from the cascade cooling skin. Waterfalls plunged silver over basalt, pooling in emerald basins. The kids splashed at the base, shrieking delight, while adults trailed. Halfway up, Benjamin hung back with Logan, hand in hand on a root-strewn path. Ellie's text, I know. Logan's jaw tightened. Ray's poison. But you're not poison, Ben. Don't let him make you feel it. At the overlook, vista sprawling, ocean meeting mountains in hazy forever. Dad pulled Benjamin aside, voice low. Ellie told me. Ray's out. Driving him to the airport tonight. Relief flooded. Sharp. You believe me? Us. Son. The word landed warm. I do. The hike down was lighter. Stories flowing freer. Dinner. Grill out on the bluff. Steak searing. Corn buttered golden. Logan manned the tongs, flipping with flair, earning Tom's high five. Laughter peaked when Jax accidentally dumped water on Ray's lap. Though Ray was gone by then, his absence a vacuum filled with tentative joy. Post-dinner, bonfire redux, but sans pastor, just s'mores and guitars. Ellie strummed wagon wheel, voice honeyed, and Benjamin joined harmony, Logan's arm around his waist. Dad watched from his chair, I soft, a tear track glinting in firelight. Later, in the dark, Benjamin and Logan walked the beach, barefoot in surf that foamed cool. Turning point, Logan asked, shells crunching. Maybe. Benjamin stopped, pulling Logan into the wave's edge, kissing deep salt and starlight. With you? Always. But as they turned back, a figure on the cliff path, Uncle Ray, bag in hand, Dad's truck idling. Words carried faint on wind. Can't let it spread. For the family's sake. Eavesdropping? No, Ray's voice. Venomous. Into a phone. Benjamin froze. Logan's grip tightening. Betrayal's blade. Hone sharper. The truck's taillights faded red into the coastal night, swallowing Ray's silhouette like a bad memory. But the poison lingered, acrid in Benjamin's nostrils. He and Logan retreated to the house in silence. The screen doors slam, echoing their slam-shut hopes. Upstairs, Ellie waited in the hallway, robe belted tight, face pale as the moon through lace curtains. Heard the call, she whispered, glancing at the kid's door. To his pastor pal. Said Dad's gone soft, that the family's at risk from. I confronted him. He's gone for good. Benjamin's fists clenched, nails biting palms. At risk? From what? Love. Ellie's eyes welled, but she squared shoulders, sister steel. Dad overheard too. kicked him out himself. Said blood's thicker than bigotry, but it don't mean he gets a pass. She hugged Benjamin fierce. Then Logan. You two are the best thing in this mess. Don't forget. Alone in their room. The bed felt vast. Sheets cool. Logan paced once. Twice. Before sinking beside Benjamin. Hands framing his face. Talk to me. Rage. Cry, don't bottle. Words stuck. Throat raw. So Benjamin pulled him down instead. Kisses bruising. Bodies colliding with a desperation that bordered pain. It wasn't making love. It was claiming ground. Logan's weight grounding him. Gasps swallowed like secrets. Afterward, sweat slick and spent, Benjamin traced the tattoo on Logan's ribs. A compass rose, north pointing true. What if Dad's next? One push, and he folds. Logan propped on elbow, gaze unwavering. Then we walk. But I saw him tonight standing up. That's not folding. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of cliffs crumbling. Hands slipping from reaches. Dawn painted the room peach. Waves a distant hymn. Downstairs, coffee perked, and Dad waited at the table, alone. Eyes ringed purple. A plate of toast untouched. Sit, he said. Voice gravel. Benjamin poured mugs. Logan sliding in beside. A buffer. Dad met their eyes level. Raise my brother, but he's wrong. Dead wrong. I told him choose hate or family. He chose wrong. The admission hung, heavy but honest. Benjamin sipped, steam curling. It hurt. Hearing that. I know. Dad's knuckles whitened on his mug. I've got my own poison to purge. Therapy helped, but actions. That's the proof. He paused, glancing at Logan. You make him happy. That's enough for me. Logan nodded, cautious. Appreciate it. Means a lot. Ellie bustled in then. Twins trailing with bedhead halos. Diffusing with chatter. Pancake bar. Chocolate chips or blueberries. The morning pivoted to normalcy. Syrup rivers. Giggles over whipped cream mustaches. Ray's shadow shrinking in daylight. Plans shifted. No more group outings. Just pockets of peace. Benjamin and Logan claimed a morning hike to Julia Pfeiffer Burns State Park. The trail a serpentine climb through oak groves heavy with dew. Waterfall McWay spilled turquoise into the sea. A bridal veil over sands untouchable by feet. Sacred, set apart. They sat on boulders. Legs dangling over the overlook. Sandwiches unwrapped. Logan sketched the cascade. Pencil whispering. While Benjamin snapped photos. Candid of Logan's concentration furrow. The way light haloed his lashes. You're my anchor, Benjamin said sudden. The words escaping like breath. Logan looked up. Smile crooked. And you're the storm I chase. He capped the pencil. Leaning in for a kiss slow as honey. World fading to mist and murmur. Afternoon brought the family to Elephant Seal Beach. Blubbery behemoths hauling over sands. Bellows rumbling like thunder. The twins pressed noses to chain link. Awestruck. While Tom narrated facts from his phone. Males fight for harems. Tusks like switchblades. Ellie rolled eyes. Romantic. But shot Benjamin a grin. Logan included in the us. Dad hung back with Clara, who tiptoed apologetic. I misspoke. You're welcome here, dear. Always. Her clasp was limp, but the effort counted, a crack in the facade. As seals flopped into surf, Benjamin felt the tide turn. Subtle but insistent. Dinner was communal again. Pasta primavera from a local joint, wine flowing loose. Stories circled. Clara's wild youth in the 60s, flower child tales, Dad's coaching glory days, a championship run with underdogs. Logan shared ink stories, a client's phoenix from divorce ashes, another a memorial tree for a lost love. Benjamin contributed quiet. His gallery's upcoming show, queer artists reclaiming narratives. Dad listened rapt. Then, I'd like to see it. If invited, the offer landed soft, an open palm. You're in, Benjamin said, voice steady. Night fell velvet, fireflies winking in the scrub. The group dispersed early, kids conked out, Ellie and Tom stealing a walk. Benjamin and Logan claimed the hot tub on the deck. Jets rumbling, steam rising like prayers. Naked under bubbles, they floated close, legs entwined, heads on the edge staring at constellations. Orion's belt, Logan pointed, finger tracing air. Hunter. But what if he was just chasing stars? Benjamin chuckled, water lapping. Then he'd be us. His hand found Logan's under foam, interlacing. Love you. Through the bullshit. Love you more. Logan's kiss was languid, tasting of Merlot and forever. But peace fractures easy. Midnight found Benjamin awake, thirst pulling him downstairs. In the kitchen, low voices, Dad and Clara, silhouetted by fridge light. Can't approve. Grayson. It's unnatural. The Bible. Enough. Sis. Dad's tone steel. My house. My rules. Ben's my son. Logan's good people. You stay. You respect. Clara's huff. Then footsteps retreating. Benjamin slipped back upstairs. Heart pounding. Not rage, but a weary hope. Dad's defense, however halting, was armor. Next day dawned electric, storm brewing offshore, clouds boiling gray. Kayaks scrapped for a drive to Carmel, quaint cottages lining streets like storybook pages. They wandered galleries, the twins ogling ice cream cones the size of their heads. Benjamin paused at a window display, abstract oils of intertwined forms, fluid and fierce, queer love abstracted. Inside, the artist chatted him up, a wiry woman with henna tattoos. Captures the tangle, right? Beauty in the bind. Logan bought a print, a swirl of blues and golds, for their wall. Dad lingered outside. Then, bold work. Like life, Benjamin replied, and Dad nodded, buying a postcard version. Lunch at a seaside cafe, chowder steaming in sourdough bowls, foghorns moaning. Conversation meandered to Mom, her laugh like wind chimes, her secret vice for bad rom-coms. Tears pricked, but so did smiles, shared grief a bridge. Afternoon rain trapped them in a mission, cool stone arches, incense thick. Candles flickered before saints, and Benjamin lit one for Mom, whispering thanks for the letters. Logan squeezed his hand, atheist solidarity in the gesture. Back home, storm broke full, lightning cracking, thunder rolling like applause. Power flickered, but the house held. Family huddled with cards and cocoa. Ray's absence yawned, but they filled it. Tom's dad jokes landing flat. Ellie's impressions of Clara's flutters drawing guffaws. Bed that night. Rain drumming roof. Logan held Benjamin close. Storms passing, he murmured. Yeah, but as thunder growled, Benjamin's phone buzzed. Unknown number. family's better without the fag. Watch your back. The threat chilled. Venom digital. Logan read over shoulder, cursing low. Block him. Report if he shows. Benjamin did. Fingers trembling, but sleep evaded. Shadows lengthening. Morning after. Sky scrubbed clean. The group voted beach Olympics, relays with kids on shoulders. Sandcastle sieges. Laughter roared as towers toppled. Mia crowning Benjamin with seaweed tiara. Logan refereed. Whistle pealing. His cheers the loudest. But under joy, the text festered. Ellie caught Benjamin's distraction. Ray. Yeah. He showed her. Her face hardening. Dad needs to know. Confrontation brewed over lunch. BLTs on the porch. Wind whipping napkins. Dad's face darkened reading the screen. That coward. I'll handle. How? Benjamin pressed. Fork stabbing tomato. Cut ties. For good. Dad's eyes. Steel blue. Held his. No more chances. Clara overheard. Paling. Grayson. You too, Dad said gentle but firm. Love you. But this ends. Or you do. She folded. Nodding tearful. Ellie hugged her. But lines drew. Family redefined. Blood optional. Afternoon free time. Benjamin and Logan escaped to a hidden cove. Cliffs cupping white sand like a secret. They swam nude. Water shocking cold. Bodies buoyant. Surf tossed them playful. Logan's laughter echoing off rocks. On shore, drying in sun, they made love slow, sand gritting skin, waves applauding, reclaiming stolen peace. Dusk brought grill finale, ribs slow-smoked, coleslaw crisp. Toast circled, Ellie's to new chapters, Tom's to beer. Dad raised glass last, to Ben and Logan. For showing me home. Tears stung, but Benjamin clinked. Logan's hand warm in his. Hope, fragile but flowering. Yet nightfall whispered warnings. As stars pricked. Another text. Enjoy the vacation. It ends soon. Ray's ghost. Haunting. The final full day dawned brittle. Sky a too perfect blue that mocked the undercurrent of unease. Benjamin deleted the latest text without reply, but its barbs hooked deep, end soon looping like a threat's refrain. Logan noticed the stiffness in his shoulders over breakfast, avocado toast crumbling under knives. We talked to Dad, he said firm. No room for debate. Together, Ellie overheard, sliding into the booth with orange juice for the twins. Already did. He's calling his lawyer today, restraining order if Ray pushes. Her eyes, so like Mom's, held fierce protect. This is our line in the sand. Dad confirmed it later. Phone to ear in the study. Voice clipped. No contact. Or charges. He hung up, spotting them in the doorway. Done. Now, let's not waste sun. Whale watch. The boat cut through Monterey Bay. Diesel chug harmonizing with gulls. Crew in yellow vests scanned horizons. Binoculars glinting. While passengers clustered railside, kids bouncing. Ellie snapping pics. Benjamin leaned on Logan. Wind tangling their hair. The vastness humbling. Look, Tom yelled, pointing a breach. Humpback tail fluke slapping massive. Water sheeting rainbow. The pod surfaced rhythmic. Spouts feathering mist. A ballet of migration. Mia clutched Benjamin's leg. Uncle Ben. They're like us. Swimming free. The innocence pierced. Simple truth. Logan murmured in his ear. Yeah. Free. Dad sidled up, binoculars dangling. Your mom loved these tours. Said Wales knew secrets we forgot. A pause. Awkward but earnest. You remind me of her. Stubborn heart. Benjamin swallowed. Horizon blurring. Miss her. Me too. Dad's hand landed brief on his shoulder. Contact foreign but warming. Proud you're here. Both of you. The words. Unprompted. Sealed something. A pact. Maybe. Logan caught Benjamin's eye. Nodding subtle. See? Lunch ashore. Fish tacos at a shack. Lime zing cutting grease. Picnic tables sticky with salt. Chatter flowed. Whale facts from the naturalist. Kids' crayon drawings of flukes. Clara contributed quiet, her own mom stories. Softer edges showing. No sermons. Just shared salt air. Afternoon lazed on Cannery Row. Steinbeck's ghosts in brick facades. Sea lions lounging piers like kings. Benjamin and Logan wandered ahead, hands swinging loose, popping into a bookstore where dusty tomes smelled of aged paper. Logan fingered a first edition on the road, Our Vibe Endless Highway. Benjamin grinned, buying it on impulse. Road trip after this? Escape the drama. Deal. Joshua Tree. Tattoos under stars. The promise anchored, pulling them back to the group with linked arms. Ellie winked, cute, while Dad just nodded, a ghost of smile. Storm's echo lingered in evening clouds, but the bluff barbecue pushed through, kebab sizzling, non-tearing warm. Games erupted, cornhole tosses, Jack's crowning Logan tattoo king with a lei of kelp. Laughter crested as Tom attempted a backflip off the deck rail, landing in a heap to cheers. Post-feel, the fire pit called Stories Under Sparks. Ellie confessed her wedding jitters. Tom's proposal fumble, ring in a Big Mac box. Clara shared a 70s escapade, running off to Woodstock, only to sneeze through the mud. Dad's turn. Coached a team once. All misfits. Taught me winning's bullshit without heart. Benjamin went next. Voice steady. Came out at 17. Dad's reaction. Wrecked me. But Logan? He saw the pieces. Helped rebuild. Eyes on Dad. Challenge soft. Families choosing to stay. Even when it hurts. Silence. Then Dad. I chose wrong then. Choosing right now. Logan squeezed Benjamin's knee. Firelight dancing in his eyes. The moment held. Sacred. Bed beckoned early. Exhaustion bone deep. In sheets scented lavender. They moved tender, exploring like rediscovery. Logan's mouth mapping collarbones. Benjamin's fingers threading scalp. Climax crested quiet. Waves outside echoing their sighs. You're my everything, Logan breathed. Post-glow. And you're mine. But as sleep tugged, Benjamin's phone lit voicemail. Ellie's number. He played it low. Ben Ray showed at the house-sitters. Broke a window. Ranting. Cops came. He's detained. But stay vigilant. Love you. The chill returned. Vice tight. Logan stirred. What? Tell you tomorrow. Lies for peace. But dawn would demand truth. It broke harsh, sun slicing blinds. Nausea roiling. Benjamin slipped out. Dressing quiet. Finding Dad on the porch with coffee. Face haggard. Ellie called me too. Ray's in county lockup, trespassing. Threats. Bail hearing tomorrow. Benjamin gripped rail. Knuckles white. This your fault. Dad recoiled. Then nodded slow. Partially. enabled him too long. But no more. I'm testifying if needed. The admission cracked Benjamin open, rage yielding to weary relief. Why'd he hate me so much? Fear, son. Of change. Of loving wrong. Dad's eyes. Mirrors of his own. I know that fear. Logan joined then, sensing storm, arm around Benjamin's waist. Group huddle, they told him, words tumbling. Logan's jaw set, we leave if unsafe. No, Dad said firm. This ends here. Safe. Packing commenced somber, duffels zipping, kids oblivious in cartoons. Ellie hugged tight, stronger for it. Drive out was convoy. Dad's truck leading, their rental trailing. Highway 1 curving dramatic, cliffs plunging. Ocean sapphire. Stops dotted. Bixby Bridge for photos. Wind whipping scarves. Elephant seal vista again. Beasts indifferent. Lunch in Cambria. O'Lallyberry pie. Tart sweet. Shared forks. Toasts to endings and beginnings. Kids clinking juice glasses. Clara. Subdued. I'm sorry. Benjamin. Truly. Forgiven, he said, meaning it halfway. Afternoon blurred in eucalyptus groves. Sense sharp. Last stop. Hearst Castle. Opulent excess. Pools like Roman baths. Zebras grazing hills. Tour guides' tales of excess mirrored their own. Fortunes built on facades. Crumbling under weight. As sun waned. The caravan split, Ellie to airport. Dad to home. At the fork. Dad pulled over. Window down. Visit soon. Gallery opening. Promise. Promise. Benjamin leaned out. Class brief but real. Father-son. Mending. Alone on the road north. Logan drove. Benjamin shotgun. Pie crumbs on thighs. Heavy week. Yeah. Logan glanced over. Hand on knee. But you faced it. Hero shit. Radio hummed soft. Springsteen crooning Thunder Road. Open highway hymn. They sang off key. Windows down. Wind therapy. San Francisco welcomed arms open. Golden Gate shrouded fog. Their flats lights beckoning. Home. Scuffed floors. Art walls. Bed unmade. Unpacking. Benjamin found the on the road inscription fresh. To endless with you. Dinner was delivery, sushi sprawl on the coffee table. Sake warming. They ate cross-legged. Knees bumping. Debriefing like soldiers post-battle. Dad's changed, Benjamin conceded. Raise the casualty. Collateral, Logan agreed. But you gained ground. Love followed natural, bodies familiar. Touches reverent. In afterglow. Tangled. Benjamin's phone buzzed. Dad. Home safe. Ray bailed. But orders in place. Love you both. Proud. Tears pricked. Cathartic. Logan read over. Kissing temple. See? Human. Night deepened. City hum lullaby. But as sleep claimed, another buzz unknown. Not over. Fag. Family's mind to save. Ray's echo. Persistent. Weeks blurred post-vacation. San Francisco's pulse resuming. Gallery deadlines stacking like Jenga. Logan's shop buzzing with walk-ins craving ink anthems. Benjamin curated feverishly. Walls filling with canvases that screamed identity. Portraits of trans elders in faded gowns. Murals of pride flags bleeding into sunsets. Dad's postcard arrived midweek. Hearst Castle stamp. Scrawl inside. Miss the cliffs. Opening soon? G. He pinned it to the fridge, beside Logan's sketches and a twin's finger paint. Ellie called Sundays. Updates laced laughter. Dad's joined a book club. Call me by your name. Can you believe? Ray's radio silent. Therapy mandated. The threat text ceased after 2 more blocked. Traced to burners. Cops warning Ray off. Distance bred healing. Slow but sure. Benjamin's nightmares eased. Replaced by dreams of piers and phoenixes. Gallery night loomed. October crisp. Leaves turning in Golden Gate Park. Fog a velvet cloak. Invites went broad. Ellie flying in with kids. Tom on work video. Aunt Clara politely declined, but Dad confirmed, wouldn't miss. Setup day. Logan hauled frames. Muscles straining under tea. Sweat beating temple. Bossy curator, he teased, dodging Benjamin's swat. Lazy artist, Benjamin fired back, pulling him into storage for a quick make-out. Dusty shelves witness. Hearts racing. Opening buzzed electric, velvet ropes. Champagne flutes clinking. Murmurs of awe under track lights. Queer icons mingled. The henna artist from Carmel. A drag queen poet reciting odes to lost lovers. Benjamin in slim black suit. Logan beside in button-down rolled sleeves. Tattooed forearms on display. Dad arrived fashionably late. Ellie on arm, twins in tiny bow ties. Eyes wide at the swirl. Son. Dad's hug was awkward but enveloping. Cologne woodsy like the redwoods. Place looks powerful. Means the world, Benjamin said. Throat tight. Introducing Logan formal. My partner. Love of my life. Dad shook firm. The man who makes you shine. Honored. Ellie beamed. Herding kids to the snack table, cheese puffs vanishing. They toured. Dad lingering at a piece. Oil of 2 men entwined in stormlight. Reminds me of you too. Strong. The validation landed seismic. Aftershocks in Benjamin's chest. Logan, ever steady, clapped Dad's back. Grab a drink? Non-alcoholic for coach. Chatter flowed. Dad asking shop questions. Ellie gushing over murals. A toast mid-evening. Benjamin at the mic. Spot soft. This show's about reclaiming. From families that falter, loves that endure. To those who stay and those who learn to, glasses raised. Dad's eyes misty. Here. After party spilled to a Castro bar, neon pulsing. Crowd a kaleidoscope of glitter and grit. Dad nursed soda. Out of depth but game. Tapping foot to remix anthems. Your world's vibrant, he admitted to Benjamin. Voices thumping bass. Missed sharing it. You here now? Benjamin yelled over din. Clapping shoulder. Logan pulled him to the floor. Bodies swaying. Lights strobing. They danced loose. Hips grinding playful. Dad's bemused watch from the bar a benediction. Dawn crept as they tumbled home. Ellie crashing on the couch with twins piled like puppies. Dad to hotel. Promise of brunch. In bed. Logan and Benjamin collapsed giggling. Exhaustion sweet. Nailed it, Logan mumbled. Arm heavy. Couldn't without you. Kiss lazy. Sleep swift. Brunch sprawled Sunday. Diner booth. Pancakes towering. Bacon crisp. Twins colored placemats. Ellie quizzing Dad on the show. That storm painting? Gave me chills. Like our vacation, Dad said. Syrup dripping fork paused. Storms pass. Benjamin nodded. Coffee steaming. Ray. Therapy. Alone. Dad's jaw set. I wrote him off. For good. Ellie squeezed his hand. Proud. Dad. Afternoon free. Park stroll. Leaves crunching. Kites soaring. Dad pushed jacks on swings. Laughter booming, Grandpa unguarded. Mia tugged Benjamin. Tell the whale story. He did, embellishing breeches till she squealed. Logan sketched the scene. Family fractured but fusing. Ellie flew out Monday. Dad lingering for a city tour. Alcatraz fog-shrouded. Lombard curves dizzying. At the pier, fisherman's wharf clamoring. Dad bought Logan a souvenir mug. For the ink slinger. Cheers. Logan grinned, clinking with his coffee. Dinner final. They're flat. Takeout Italian. Candles flickering. Dad raised fork. To Bridges. Built, Benjamin echoed. Dad left Tuesday. Airport hug lingering. Call weekly. Love you. Love you too. Routine reclaimed. But richer, Dad's texts peppering. Saw a whale doc. Epic. Logan's shop thrived. New apprentice. A trans kid with steady hands. Benjamin's show sold out. Reviews raving raw reclamation. November chill nipped. Thanksgiving looming. Ellie hosted neutral. Ray uninvited. Clara tentative. Benjamin and Logan drove Ohio ward. Highway unspooling like fate. Arrival. Ellie's ranch house. Turkey roasting golden. Kids mobbed. Dad at the door. Apron dusted flour. Pie his contribution. Boys, he greeted, pulling them in. Table groaned abundance. Stuffing sage-scented. Yams candied. Graces skipped. Toasts instead. Ellie's to gathered hearts. Dad's to Ben. For forgiving what I couldn't forget. Tears welled collective. Forks paused. Logan under table. Hand on thigh, steady. Dessert devolved to pie fights, whipped cream flying. Twins victorious. Clean-up laughter. Dishes sudsing. Evening fire. Stories circling. Old wounds scarred over. Dad pulled Benjamin aside. Library quiet. Therapy's hard. Unpacking the hate. It was fear. Of losing you like her. I know. Benjamin hugged. Bone deep. We're good. Nodding. Dad. More than. Family. Back to the fire. Logan arm draped. Warmth seeping. Holidays past mosaic, Christmas at the cabin. Snow blanketing Big Sur echoes. New Year's in the Castro. Ball drop amid confetti kisses. Spring bloomed Joshua tree trip. Cacti sentinel. Stars carpet vast. They hiked dawn. Summits golden. Inked each other under tent. Logan's needle tracing waves on Benjamin's ankle. Benjamin's clumsy script on Logan's wrist. Home. Summer gallery expansion. Dad visiting. Hanging frames awkward but proud. Ray faded. Rumors of relocation. Therapy whispers. Clara softened. Cards arriving birthdays. Fall circled back. Anniversary cliffside. Same house. Sans drama. They renewed quiet. Vows whispered waves ward. Through betrayals, Logan said. Into light, Benjamin vowed. Years layered. Rings exchanged under redwoods. Ellie best woman. Twins weddings. Benjamin officiating. Dad tearing up. Dad's decline gentle. Alzheimer's slow thief, but family fortified. Stories retold till they stuck. Benjamin's 60th. Gallery retrospective. Walls echoing decades. Logan beside. Silvered but smirking. Still chasing storms? With you? Always. Dad. Frail in wheelchair. Gripped his hand. Proud. Son. every day, ending not tragic, but full love's mosaic, cracks gold-veined. Human, utterly. In the end, forgiveness wasn't erasure. It was arrival, scars bared, hands held, horizons shared. On that pier at dawn, Benjamin, older, lined, gazed seaward, Logan's shoulder solid. The sign in memory, forgiveness waits. And it had.